Alright guys, welcome back. So in this one, I'm going to be showing you how to download, install, and use Active Presenter 8 as of January 2022. This is the most up-to-date version. I believe is version 8.5. Now, I do have another video on my channel about this, but when I watched it, I was like, wow, I can't believe that's how I sounded. So I'm going to jump into this one quickly. Please stay tuned. Okay, so what is Active Presenter 8? I mean, the company called Atomai or Tomi, they describe it as being the all-in-one screen recorder, video editor, and e-learning authoring software. Quite simply, you can record your screens, edit your videos, and add a few bits and pieces here and there, right? This is a website here. I'll put the link in the description. We have both a Windows version and a macOS version. As I have a Windows laptop, I'm going to actually download the Windows version. Now to do this, all you have to do is click on where it says download here. And then if you're using Chrome like me, you're going to have a pop-up on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. I think on Microsoft Edge, it comes up in the top right-hand side, and in other browsers, it's in different places. You can click on it directly from here by just clicking on it once, and it will actually open the installer. It's going to ask you if you're sure you want to continue. You can choose yes. If, however, that doesn't come up and you are using Windows, the other way that you can get to this file is by going to your file browser, right? Let me bring mine up. So you simply open your downloads page and it's going to be a folder there, a file there, sorry, called Active Presenter version 8.54, right? To open it, as you do with any other program, you simply click on it twice or highlight it like I've done here and press enter. That's going to come up with a screen saying, do you want this? Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Select yes. It's going to come up with this window here where you have to accept the license agreement anyway. So click accept and go next. Then here is where you choose the location of where you want it to be. Now I recommend people leaving this exactly where it is. On the other hand, I'm going to change mine because I don't like too many subfolders. Don't worry about what that means. Leave yours exactly how it is and just click next. Do not change anything and you should be perfectly fine. I'm going to click next and then I'm going to click install. It shouldn't take too long for most PCs. It's a very, very small program. As you can see, the installation file was only 57 megabytes. There we go. That's finished. It's going to take us to its website where it wants us to read the overview and look at a few things. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to my setup and I'm going to actually click on the button that says Launch Active Presenter. If you untick this button or untick this checkbox, let's say, it won't launch the program. Now, if you tick it and click Finish, it will then launch the program, which is what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish to launch the program. First time launching, it comes up with two versions or two customizable options, right? You can have the dark theme or you can have the light theme. I personally prefer the light theme, but if you're someone who is sensitive to light and you work at night a lot, the dark theme might be best. So I'm going to click on the light theme and click continue. It's going to open up here and this is what it looks like the very first time you open this program. Now the next section, I'm going to show you guys how to use it and explain a few of these things here. On the left here, as you can see, this is Active Presenter Free Edition. And under Free Edition, we have Blank Project. Now, this is what I normally go to. Create a blank project and start recording straight away. Or I go to Record Video and start recording straight away as well. Now, it does have this really interesting section here called Record Software Simulation. Now, I did try this once, and it is really, really handy if you're trying to create a tutorial document for someone. Because what it does, it not only records your screen as a video, but it also records everything that you've clicked on. And for example, if I went to the start menu and clicked on settings, it would highlight the start menu, it would highlight settings, and it would highlight all the things I've clicked on so far. So if you wanted to just record your screen quickly and give someone a document, that's probably the best way to go. Responsive project, I haven't done this one yet, but as you can see, there's a mobile phone, tablet, and computer screen here. So I'm making the assumption that it will change based on what you're trying to record for. And import PowerPoint, that's just imports a PowerPoint, and open, you can open an old project. So I'm going to go to where it says record video here, because I believe that that is what most people are here for. And this is what I typically use it for as well. It is a really good screen recording software where you can capture separate audio. So for example, when I'm on Skype with my friend talking about whatever, I can capture their audio separate from my audio. And this is normally really good, so I can amplify theirs and amplify mine, or take the noise out of theirs and noise out of mine, whatever you want to do. But let's go to record video. Let me minimize the background here of this other app I'm using. That's my other screen recording app. I'm going to minimize that, and that's me there. As you can see, it's recording my webcam as well. Very responsive, very clean. Let me start from the left. Here we have full screen, which takes up the entire screen I have. We can also do custom, and custom, you can move this box around, and what this box will do, it will go over and snap somewhere where you want it to. So let's say you were recording a PowerPoint and you only wanted to have the PowerPoint on the left, you wanted to have maybe notes on the right hand side, some music down here, whatever you wanted. Custom is how you would do that. I tend to go for full screen, right? I tend to also not record my webcam because I do this over video chat anyway, and that video chat would capture everything that's on my screen. So I'm going to turn this off, and to turn it off, I simply click on the webcam icon itself. It goes gray and the webcam goes off. As you can see, there's no more webcam, and if I click on it again, the webcam icon comes on, and that's it. Now I'm going to go to microphone here. Now I'm not going to mess with anything here. I'm simply going to tell you guys how it works. So if I click on that arrow right next to the microphone, it will bring up input devices. So we have microphone, and then we have do not record microphone. For me, it's going to be a microphone. For you guys, it's probably going to be a microphone as well. If you do, however, have a USB headset or a USB device attached, it might be saying something along the lines of USB mic in. For system audio, if you want it to record whatever is playing from your speakers or your headset, you would select this option here. If you do not want that, if you only want it to record what's coming from your microphone, you select do not record system audio, okay? Now, I'm not going to test turning off my microphone because that might mess up my recording, but just like we did with the video here, where you clicked on the green icon to turn it off, you're going to do exactly the same thing to the mic to turn that one off. And we have volume here. I normally put mine to max or very close to maximum, just so that I can capture audio really clearly, so I can always go back and reduce the audio if I need to. I'm going to quickly go to settings here just to see the options we have. I'm not going to press record just yet. When I go to settings, I see recording settings, show recording area, show recording toolbar, and calibrate audio input. I'm not going to do any of that. Just going to go recording settings, see what comes up. This is quite a good section if you want to have specific values, right? So video codec, a codec is simply a tiny program that encodes and decodes video. To encode video means to create. To decode video means to watch. I'm going to leave it as MP4. That seems like a good thing to have it as. My frames, I like my frames to be 60 because most monitors, most displays here in the UK are between 50 and 60, I would say. And my quality, I'm just going to have it at 100. I always want the best quality. I don't want my quality reduced before I start editing and before I upload to YouTube, because YouTube is already going to reduce the quality. Now, if you're recording for like a classroom, this does not need to be 60. You can drop this down to 30. If you're recording basic screen instructions for students, leave this at 30. 60 frames per second is if you're going to be editing and putting stuff on YouTube, then fine. Quality, I would always leave it at 100 just in case you're trying to view something on screen that's very small, text is very small, and students might need to like pause and zoom in, then they can do that. If the quality is reduced, then they won't see as much detail. What's next? Not going to touch that. Audio 16-bit PCM, that's fine. But for most people, I think MP3 is going to be fine. MP3 quality has become really good. It's really compatible with everything. I would actually go with MP3. The sample rate, don't worry too much about this stuff here. I would probably put this at 44 100 hertz. That's the typical sample rate of audio. This is high quality audio, but this is typically what we play off CDs, I believe. Channels, I would definitely do stereo. If you're trying to save on space, do mono, but again, there are other things you can do, but I would leave it as stereo for now. And the bit rate, I would put it up to 256 again, just to try and get better quality audio. Video codec is fine for webcam as well, that's okay. And I'm going to click save here. After I've clicked save, I've actually set up everything I need. The only thing I don't know is where this video is going to be saved. So let's get cracking. All right, so here I'm actually running two screen recorders at the same time. So I don't actually know if this is going to work very well, but let's see, it should. But because the microphone and the screen is being recorded by another program, it might not work for me, but for you guys, it should be perfectly fine. So after doing all of those changes and settings, if you wanted to have your webcam on, obviously if you're doing a video for people and you want to have facial interactions with them, so to speak, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to just do record, right? I'm going to leave my webcam on for now, do record, and hope for the best. There you can see we have a countdown. It says control plus end to stop the video. So hopefully this is working fine. Hopefully, testing. Let me right click on my screen, go to refresh. Let me, I don't know, open a Chrome tab. Let me go to, let me Google something. Let's say Halo Infinite achievements. Just doing something random here, okay? Just so you guys can see the screen recorder working. So let's say you wanted to highlight something to highlight it for a student. You simply highlight it just as you normally would. Right? Video being done. This is my audio testing audio. It should be screen recording. Let's hope for the best. Two running at the same time. Let's hope it doesn't crash and kill my PC. What else can I do? I can go to here. I can see that they're both running perfectly fine. I can maybe open this folder here, see what's in there. All right. Let's go to highlight these folders. Let's right click, create new. Let's go folder, test A. Let's create a Word document as well. Might as well. Database, why not? Test B. Just do some random stuff just to show that this is working. So after you finish doing all your screen recording now, right? Test C, I believe. To stop the recording, that thing has gone off your screen. I'm going to go down to where my clock is. I'm using Windows 11, but for Windows 10, it's in exactly the same place in most cases. Click on that tiny up arrow. You're going to go to this one that says Active Presenter, click for options. I'm going to click on that. It's going to come up with this. Now, some of you guys might have this thing already down here when you're recording your screen, right? Perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. Nothing wrong with that. I don't tend to have it. Okay, so I've recorded roughly 2 minutes of video here. As you can see, the video is 15 frames per second, exactly where it is now. No dropped frames, so my video should be okay actually. Mode says video mode. And audio, as you can see, this audio level here going up and down, it's not spiking, so it's fine. My audio levels are okay. This simply means that it's only picking up stuff from my microphone and nothing from my system. However, if I were to play a music file or a video file that had some sound, this would start playing as well. So if you wanted to record your screen watching a video, giving feedback like this, maybe pausing the video for students and going back and forth, pausing, explaining something, this would be a perfect way to do it. If you click stop here, it's going to discard the recording, as you can see. If you click pause, you can pause the recording like I've done just now. So this is actually not recording on Active Presenter. And if I click play again, it's going to resume the recording from that spot where it stopped the last time. Now, this is really good if you wanted to take breaks and maybe open something just to double check if it's the right thing you're opening. Like earlier, I opened a Word document, this folder called recent, and it came up with loads of stuff, like loads of addresses I don't want on here. So I'm going to blur that out. I'm going to click stop recording here, and it's going to take us into Active Presenter where we can then start editing our file. This is probably the part that you guys really wanted to see. This is my project fully recorded and semi-saved. The first thing I would recommend everyone do before they start working on anything is to save the project. Now, this layout looks very similar to the Microsoft Office layout, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so on and so forth. But I think this looks more like PowerPoint than anything else. So what I would say, save your work straight away. To save, the shortcut is Control plus S on Windows or Command plus S on Mac. Or you could just go to the Active Presenter logo in left-hand corner up here where my mouse is. Click on that. Click Save or Save As. Now, I always do Save As a default for me. But save does exactly the same thing. The very first time you do it, it's going to ask you where you want to save it. Now, I created a folder on my desktop called Active Presenter. I'm going to go into that folder. I'm going to call this Active Presenter or AP Test. Okay? TEST, capital T. All right, I'm going to click Save, and that's going to be it. It saves my project. I'm going to now go into that folder to see what that folder actually has. So let's go to Desktop, Active Presenter, and as you can see in here, I've got my project file. So this is the Active Presenter file itself. And I do believe in here I've got the actual video file which was recorded. And as you can see, it's not that big. It's only 146 megabytes. So very, very good compression here. Might not be good if you're trying to get really high quality images. However, whatever screen resolution you have, that's what this program will record at. So if you have 2K, if you have 4K, 8K, it should record at that resolution. Though I've never tried it, it should work because it says full screen. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to my project, my Active Presenter project, and I'm going to start editing this now. So here we are now in the program, and as you can see, this looks like a typical PowerPoint presentation with all the tabs at the top. It also kind of looks like a video editor with all the timeline stuff down here. So first and foremost, I think the most important thing is to go over the timeline section. So I'm going to click here, and simply when my mouse turns into that arrow, it allows me to drag this section up. It makes the screen where the video is smaller, but it makes the timeline more visible. So when I click on here, the first one's going to always be slide. The second one is going to be system audio. So this is what's being recorded from your actual computer, the sound coming out of your computer. So if you're playing a YouTube video, this is the thing that will capture that. Audio is going to be from my microphone. So this is where my microphone audio would sit. Webcam would obviously be from my webcam. And as you can see, it's actually highlighted, put a box around the webcam footage, which I can actually move around. So if I wanted to make this smaller for some reason, or if I wanted to make it larger, I could do that. I can resize as well. I can also go to video here, and this is going to be the actual video that was recorded from my screen. Now I'm going to try and go through some of the timeline controls, especially the ones I used frequently. So here we have all slides, it just shows everything. Here we have the play button or preview button, the stop. Here we have the record narration. What that means, after you've recorded something, and if you want to do a voiceover on the thing you've recorded. So let's say I've recorded myself showing someone how to create a new folder, for example, and I want to go through and then explain step by step after I've done the recording. I can click on this and it will simply start recording from wherever the timeline playhead is. So this thing is called the timeline playhead in typical video editors. And wherever you put it, that's where the recording will start. I can do a quick test now. So for example, if I click that button now, keep an eye on where this is, and I'm just going to say some random stuff. ABC 1 2 3, ABC 1 2 3. When I click stop, it creates a new item in the timeline exactly where this playhead was. It recorded what I was saying, even if there was already sound playing. I don't think many people don't understand what that means anyway. So let me just move on. So here we have the zoom controls for the timeline. Those are self-explanatory. This is the zoom to fit. So it just tries to fit everything on the timeline. We have zoom out, we have zoom in. What's this one again? This one is cut range, copy range, delete range, copy to range. This one is insert time. I haven't really played with these, but I'm assuming for video, you can actually cut a section within the ranges that you've set. And the ranges that you've set, this green thing on the playhead or the timer thing, that would be the start, and the orange thing would be the stopping part. I'll try that later on and show you guys as well. Next we have split audio video objects. So it splits them in a sense that they won't be joined together, so you can edit them individually. After that, we have join audio video objects. So after you finish editing and you think, okay, I've lined everything up the way I want, I can join them again just to make it one object. Change playback speed. Sometimes you might want a section that's not really that important to play faster, just so you can get to where you need to get to. Changing the playback speed is a good way to do that. You can also slow it down from here as well. Insert blur area. Imagine I were to bring up my Amazon account. My name is at the top, my address maybe, and I don't want to show that. I can just quickly drop a blur in there. Adjust the volume. This is something I use quite a bit just because I find that many microphones on my laptop, for example, they sound really low, so I typically have to amplify my audio. So The way this is done, you click on the actual audio you want to amplify or want to make louder or quieter. You click on the thing that says amplify volume, or sorry, adjust volume. It comes up with this control thing here. Now, if you drag up, it obviously increases the volume, and if you drag down, it decreases the volume. This was at 100, I think, so I'll bring it to 150-ish, 148, that's fine, leave it there. And as you can see, the actual waveform on the timeline here got slightly larger, so that means the audio should be louder. That's how you do it. We have a fade in audio, we have a fade out. Now this is getting into proper video editing stuff, but the fact that this is all built into one program that looks like PowerPoint, more or less works like PowerPoint, completely free, has all these controls. If you're trying to do something, especially for your students, and you want to just do it in one single program, this is it. You don't need to keep going back and forth in anything else. This one is add noise reduction. So let's say you have a crappy microphone and there's a hiss or a humming in the microphone or just some background noise in general that you can isolate. Typically, you do that by noise reduction because noise is obviously everything that you are not supposed to have there, right? Next, we have audio normalization. That's just to make the audio one level. So when you normalize something, you make it look like everything else, essentially, hence the word normalization. So as you maybe you guys won't be able to see, but on my timeline here, some audio sections are going to be louder than others. So if I normalize the audio, it will bring all the audio that's lower up to that value. Or if I wanted to make it quieter, it would bring the louder audio down to the lower volumes. That's what normalization is. And here we have in caption, so I can actually put on screen what I'm saying. So, I mean, YouTube already does that for most people if you speak English, for example. However, if you speak an obscure language which Google isn't allowed to pick up on, you can type the text in yourself rather than having Google try to guess what the subtitles are. Okay, so next I'm going to go over the toolbars at the top. Now, I personally, I'm not going to be able to go over everything. I'm going to go over the most basic things that people need, right? So here on the home screen, we have new slide, layout, reset, and we also have record screen. So even after you recorded one set of videos or a video, and you think, actually, I wanted to add some more, you can hit record screen. It's going to come up with all the options that I showed you guys before, and you're going to be able to continue recording. So you have one video, you've worked on it, you've added in stuff, and you think, let me do a bit more on this. This is how you do it. You hit record screen here, and it takes you to it. I actually haven't messed with anything over here as well, but if I go to insert, I can insert a new slide. So this would insert a new slide here. I can do a container, never used that before. I can do shapes. Shapes are quite good. So let's say you're trying to explain something and you want something to stand out. So here's a folder on my desktop. If I wanted that folder to be highlighted, I might just put a box around it and leave the fill color as transparent or empty. Then that would highlight the box or the folder I'm looking at. Next, we have text captions, spotlight, equation, icons, gesture effects, footer, image, screenshot, audio, video, YouTube video is a web object, mouse click, keystroke, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go over everything, but this is how you would insert an element that you want. So on a video, let's just say this is a video. I wanted to insert another video up top here of me doing something silly or just another video in general. I would simply click on insert at the top. I would go to video, then I would choose the kind of video I want. I can do from file, so that's a video that's already been saved on your PC, or I can do from webcam. And what that will do, that will actually start recording directly from your webcam and put it on this new video and only from your webcam. I haven't really used anything else in this section extensively. The next thing for me to show would be transitions, but quickly before I do that, I wanted to show you how to cut out sections of your video or just how to cut video in general. So I'm going to try and zoom in on this area here where my mouse is as much as I can. This essentially works. Again, the playhead moves along, and let's say I wanted to cut my video here because I don't like the section that comes before it. I can drag that tiny green part, click on it, hold and drag the green part down to where I don't want. And after you've done that, as you can see on here, some more options get highlighted. I can do cut range. So the range is between. So a range in math normally means maximum number minus minimum number. Here it's more or less the same. The minimum time or the minimum point to the maximum point here. So if I do cut range, it's going to get rid of the section in between here. So when I'm going to click it quickly just to show you what it looks like, and just keep in mind it's going to get rid of just this section here. See, only that section is gone. Now it's completely gone. I'm going to undo that and just show you how to do another one. So again, the same range is highlighted, but this time it says copy range. When I copy the range, it should give me then the option to paste it. So let's say I had a section of video which I wanted to use again. I can copy the range, click somewhere else, and I should be able to paste the range. Next, we have delete range. This is going to be more or less the same as cut, because cut removes it. Delete is also going to remove it. Let me move my stop playhead down a bit more. So let's say take it down to there. And when I do delete range, more or less again, the same thing happens. It removes that section of the video. Let me undo that. And what's the next one? The next one is crop to range. Now this is slightly different. When you crop to range, let's say you found the perfect 5 seconds in the video that you have to use and the rest of it is pointless. Everything before it and after it is completely useless. When you crop to the range, it will get rid of everything before the range and everything after the range. So when I click on that one, crop to range, as you can see, everything before is gone, everything after is gone, and only that highlighted section in the middle was used. I'm going to undo this. And the last one is insert time. I don't typically use this one because you insert some empty space in the middle. Maybe it's good for transition or something, but I've never used it. So I'm going to skip that one for now. Another good thing to quickly show again before I move on to transitions is before you can even use a transition properly, you have to have separate videos, separate audio, right? So you're going to want to have breaks. So the way that we do this, so just imagine you have one long video that you've recorded and you think, oh no, I need to put transitions in between. So it's very obvious as to where one thing starts, where one thing stops. And transitions are just a really nice way to add some flair to your videos, right? So let's just say I have a long recording here and I wanted to split the video here. The way I do that, I just move my playhead to where I want the video split to be. And then I click on this thing here that says, where is it? Split audio stroke video objects. When I click on that, there we can see everything that's an audio and video object has been split. As I said, so now I can edit them separately. So even though it's one continuous video, it's been split in two. And now this is where you can add your transition. So your transition literally transitions or changes the scenery, the background from one video to the next. So again, this is an imaginary split essentially. So let's do, I don't know, swipe, right? Now when I click on it, it's going to go to the beginning of that video. So now to do transitions. These are slightly different from what you would have in a typical video editor. It is more reminiscent of what you have in a PowerPoint where you transition from slide to slide, not simply where the video has been cut. As most people who know how to edit videos, that's where you typically put your transition. So let's just say I have two slides, two videos. I'm going to copy this one and paste it under here just so I have two slides, just so I can show you guys what transitions will look like. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to right click in the same location just underneath in that blank space, and I'm going to click paste. Now these two are exactly the same thing, but if you had two different slides, it would be the same process. I'm going to click on slide one, and I'm going to choose a transition. Let's just choose two different things so they're very obvious as to when they change. If I go to wipe, for example, it adds the wipe transition to the very first slide, which is this top one here. This is how you increase the duration and decrease the duration. You simply click on that blue, diamond, blue diamond, and you drag it outwards to increase how long that transition is, or drag it backwards to decrease the transition. I want to leave it about as 1 point something second, right? Now, when I put my playhead, so this thing again, I'm going to put it at the very beginning. When I play it, keep an eye on this section here of the video. Control plus end. See, as you can see, it gave the wipe, whatever that was, the wipe transition. So that's how you add transitions. I'm going to click on the second slide now. And again, this is how the second slide is going to come in. Let's do a different one. Let's do push. Push seems like a decent one. Let me drag this one down to, let's say 3 seconds, 3-ish seconds, right? Now, when I put my playhead here, what it's going to do it's going to control plus end to stop the video. So that's how it comes in. Now, when you go to export your video, you should have slide 1 play, then slide 2, then slide 3, then slide 4, so on and so forth, right? So what that means is that you can have as many slides as you require, as many different transitions as you require. So it's very obvious again where one video starts, where another one stops, or where one section of a video that you've made starts and where the other section stops. Now, the last section I wanted to show was how to export your video. I've never actually done any animations in this. I've only ever done the most basic things I needed, recorded my screen, put some text on here, maybe a transition or two, maybe a box or two, and then gone straight to export. Now, when I go to export, I always click on video. I never click on anything else. But the really good thing is I can click on Microsoft PowerPoint and it will generate for me a PowerPoint that I can then share with someone, and it goes through frame by frame, step by step of everything that the video has. So you can essentially do a full walkthrough of how to use a piece of software, for example, or how to use a program teaching students something, and it will generate your PowerPoint just from your video. When I click on video, I know the settings of YouTube that I typically want. I want my video size to be 100%. I want my frame rate. I typically put 60 frames. I actually don't know if it does the proper 60 frames, but I typically put 60 frames. My video quality, I want at 100% because I want it to be the best quality possible. My screen width and height, 1920 by 1080, that's full HD. My audio, I don't tend to mess with, so I leave it as stereo audio because it comes through both headphones, right? Bitrate, if you have a really good microphone, I would bring this up to about 256 to 320 kilobits per second. And sample rate, 100 hertz. This is typically what you have on CD. So CD quality audio is pretty decent. I always leave my format as MP4 because I think that's just the most compatible format. You can use other ones if you want. I think WebM is a bit more efficient, but MP4 is fine, to be fair. And where it says output file, this is going to be on my desktop. So let me, desktop output. Yeah, that should be fine. This is where you're going to choose where you actually want the file to be saved, and then the name of the file as well. If you're okay with everything the way it is, simply click OK, and it starts to export the video for you. It's going to join all the audio tracks, all the video tracks, everything into one. Now, this program, I don't think is going to become anything tremendously amazing when it comes to editing videos. But what it's really good at is recording your screen and allowing you to make a few changes. Now, for my screen recorder I'm using the built-in one that comes with Filmora 11. Really good video editing program. And again, this will not replace a video editing program. But for people who aren't really tech savvy, for people who just want to quickly record a video, maybe do a PowerPoint, maybe just do a few screenshots and just do some voiceover on something that they already have, this is amazing. And it's completely free. I've never paid for it. There's no need to pay for it. And you can export video in really high quality, really high fidelity, good frame rates, good audio quality. All around, I think it's a really good program. And I think not just for teachers, but anyone who records their screen, this is probably going to be the go-to, or should be the go-to one for most people, because it's completely free. And you guys know how much I love free software. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe. Please like, subscribe. I'm at 800 subscribers now, 856, I believe. So please like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have any questions, paste them under the video. I will try my best to do shorter videos on like quick snippets. So how to download the program, for example, how to install, how to do this one specific thing, and not an entire video that goes through every single section of this program.